Podular. Welcome back, everybody, from an insane 4-night run of music. It is Thursday, July 17th. This is episode 38. And we're here to break down the Seattle shows. The Pacific Northwest run was so sick that simply we cannot get through all of it in one episode. So we're going to break down the two shows from the Seattle at the Crocodile today. And that's pretty much all that's on the agenda, right? We'll talk a little bit about the new song that was released last week. Threw us a little curveball there, Scotty. And then we've got a very special guest to help us break down the Seattle shows, our boots on the ground. And we'll bring him in a second here. But, Mr. Scotty, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm in vacation mode, chilling with a Mai Tai in the beach house with my family that my in-laws do every year. We get they rent a couple of houses next to each other and essentially do kind of a family reunion style week vacation. Get all the kids together and have a good time. So I'm over here working on my tan and sitting in a theater room of one of those houses we've rented, and they've been so kind to let me do this for a couple of hours. So we're not breaking stride. We told y'all 52 episodes in 52 weeks, and that's what we're here to bring y'all today. So pumped to be here.
Yeah. You're gonna hate this, but you sound a little bit like Brian Kelly there at the beginning. Like, I'm
Oh,
here
yeah.
with my family. When he ggets intro to the basketball game.
Yeah, well,
You sound great, buddy.
That's where I'm at.
I like the couch vibe. I might even get a couch episode. Yeah,
I'm a little more laid back, you know. I usually got the desk and a little more formal setup, but I figure why not, dude? I'm in vacation mode. Let's do it where we're at.
Well, I'm joining you with a little vodka lemmy, so I'll
Beautiful.
start on vacation. It's Fish Week here in
Hey.
Chicago. I know you got your fish shirt on too, so
Mhm.
excited for that. But we're here to talk about STS9. Before we get into the Seattle shows and introduce our guest, man, threw us for a little bit of a loop last week, huh? Thought we were getting a Sky's the Limit.
We
It
do
ends
not
up
have an
being-
extra Sky song. We are
No.
still at the original amount of Sky songs that we had 2 weeks ago.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of these songs are about the sky. I'm going to note that because it honestly is like a Billy Strings. That is one of my favorite things you've ever said, where all the Billy Strings songs are about trains, all the STS9 songs are about the sky. So,
Yes.
But your initial thoughts on the Walk the Sky recording? Obviously, we heard the clip of it. That was from night one from the encore at the Crocodile. Holy fucking shit, Zach Velmer. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's cool, man. I think it gives us a little bit more clear idea of some of the options that are available for the human dream. I think that you and I had maybe said last week that we didn't really think that any of the other Sky songs were going to make it on here. I think all bets are off. I have no idea what's going to be on this album anymore. Which is cool. I think a common maybe not a complaint, but a common observation that you could have on this band over the last almost 30 years that they've been around is that, you know, a lot of these live tracks just kind of continue to go on and never really get the studio treatment. And I appreciate that all of these songs that they've premiered since the Universe Inside, you know, why not put them on? These just because they're not new in a live setting, it doesn't mean that they don't deserve a studio treatment. And you know, I don't think that's weird that they're doing that. I'm excited, and you know, I haven't sat down and made a list of other songs that I would like to see get that studio treatment, but maybe that's worth doing in the next couple of weeks. Now that
Rent.
yeah,
Do it.
yeah.
Rent.
And I still think it's pretty safe to say we're not going to see any Murph era non-studio tracks get that treatment, but the fuck do I know?
I've heard rumblings of Vapors being on there. I don't know.
Really? So,
Yep.
you know, I think, you know, I think Minister off the top of my head would be a cool one to maybe see on this album, but who knows? I think this is one of the better live songs that we've gotten over the years that, you know, deserved a studio treatment. So
Yeah.
why not? Let's start with Walk the Sky, and I'm excited to see what else they put a studio spin on.
Yeah. No, and like with this one, not so much like Strange Games or Seed to Your Infinity, right? Where we're like hearing a lot of new sections, right? I think
Yeah.
we heard like a little bit of a new like grung,
Hmm.
grung, grung, but like those new modular, just like the grung, like just like a lot of background noises. I will say though, my favorite artwork to date here was we take a look
Yeah.
at it. Holy shit, that is really fucking cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, walking the sky there for sure. For real. But really cool shit. But we got a lot of clips to get into here today, Scotty. So let's get to our guest first. This man is one of the oldest friends of mine. If you guys didn't know, me and Scotty are both actually journalism students.
Hmm.
So in college, I was a radio producer and radio host as a part of kind of the, you know, work that you put along with your course load to maybe lead to a career, which I guess this is the closest thing to a career in that I have. But we actually were co-hosts. So he's my first co-host. Don't get too jealous here, Scotty.
Oh no, not at
Kind of
all. I think this is one of the cooler things we've done. When you told me that this was your idea, I was nothing but excited for this.
Yep. And so we met in college, and then he has moved out to Seattle since. And these were his first STS9 shows in a while, and we'll get into that too. But without further ado, Mr. Ryan Ferm, otherwise known as the Filthy Ferm to my Nasty Nate. Welcome to the program. Welcome to Pop Podular. How are you, bud?
Oh, I'm doing great, bud. Thanks for having me. I was super stoked when you reached out to ask me to join because, like, I mean, I was, well, first of all, bummed that you weren't making the trip out.
Yeah.
And then, second of all, when you're like, well, I'm not going to be there, can you at least join to break it down? So I was stoked when you invited me on. So super pumped to be here.
This is kind of the consolation prize to me not
Yeah.
coming out there. But what I'll say is, after these shows, I don't think we'll have to wait. What was it, 9 years, Scotty, until the last proper Seattle shows? Based off how I've seen how everything went, I'd be willing to bet they'd be back to Seattle in the next couple of years.
Hmm.
Would you second that statement, Ryan?
I sure hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's always the case, but like the crowd brought it, showed the love. They definitely felt it. They showed it back. So hopefully we showed them a good enough of a time to come back soon.
You'd be surprised, man. You'd be surprised. Some crowds are not as rowdy as others, but from all the videos I've seen, from the crowd pops I hear on the soundboard, from the reaction of the band on some of the Zach clips that we hear on the soundboards too, they seem to be feeling the love for sure. So it's really cool to see. But Ryan, give us a little bit of background in yourself. Talk about how we met and kind of what your intro to STS9 was.
Yeah, man. Well, obviously, you already teased it. We met in college and we became fast friends, really
Hmm.
bonding over live music. And so it was natural that we then decided to, because we were both working at the radio station together, and then they're like, "How would you guys like to have like the primetime show?" And we're like, 15 hours of unpaid labor a week. Sign me up. So dumb, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I mean, I feel like our friendship has always just hinged around our passion for music. Like obviously me playing music and then you join the jam sessions, late night sessions on the gym bay and screaming your own lyrics along to our jam
Oh,
sessions.
scatting. Scatting is the word for it. Yeah.
Scatting. Beep, 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 beep,
I'd like to hear the soundboards of those.
Oh
There's got to
God.
be some recordings for sure.
Dude, oh my
Um,
God. If it is, there'd be some dangerous things on Trucci's phone. I'm sure he has buried in a drawer somewhere. Nobody
good.
needs to hear or see that.
Right, right.
Um, but yeah, I mean, intro to STS9 obviously was you. Which fun fact, so I was there with our friend Steven, who Steven introduced you to
Shout out
STS9
Steven.
Day. And
Yeah.
then also I met Ray, who introduced Steven to STS9. So I was like, through the
Mm.
transitive property, you're like my STS9 great grandpa. Like this is wild. Um,
Fuck yeah, Ray was there. That's awesome.
yeah. Yeah, so I got to meet him. But yeah, I mean, first show ever was Canopy Club 2011
2011. Yeah.
or
Oh,
12.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
And
a hell of an experience for like not really knowing what I was getting into.
it sure was on a Sunday night for sure. God damn,
Oh yeah.
we did not treat that like a Sunday. But
No, you
I
didn't.
think I was really, that was in my like hook, line, and sinker. And Scotty, I think for us both, it was a Baraka encore that night. Where
Ah,
there's this we were at the first row of the balcony of the Canopy Club with what, it's like an 800 person room,
It's
so it's like,
small. It's
yeah, I
intimate.
mean, you're right there, and there's a railing at the front, and like Ryan is just like holding a railing and like watching them play Baraka, and I look over, I'm like, everything's gonna be okay, yeah.
I don't remember whose jacket I had, but I had somebody's jacket. I was just like holding it on the railing, so I couldn't look away. It was a magical experience, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. And then yeah, aside from doing 3 to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, um Tuesday nights, Scotty, were Groove Night with Nasty Nate and Filthy Firm. Do you want to hear more about that?
I do.
Yeah. What
That
kind of
was that
music?
was the
Yeah.
real fun time
Yeah.
where just any sort of live music, mostly jam adjacent, put
hmm
together an hour playlist of just got to play our own music on the radio. And it was
That's sick.
the most fun,
Yeah.
without a doubt. Plus, it was only an
Putting
hour of unpaid labor at work.
yeah. Putting together those playlists was like some of the most fun thing. And like one of the more fun things was where we had like a 42-minute tweezer to play, and we are like, all right, well, we got like two other songs, and
Yeah.
of course, one of them had to be an STS9 song. One of them had to be an Humphrey song. So
Yeah.
When you said it was an hour of music, I was like, all right, cool. They were playing 4 songs a week. That sounds great.
Well, it was interesting though, because sometimes we would sort of like throw in the random like bluegrass song or something that's a
Yeah,
little bit
like a
quicker hit.
4 minute bluegrass song or
And I
something like
loved
Sure.
keeping people on their toes with things like that.
that. Because this was a alternative music station, so think of Red Hot Chili Peppers,
Yeah.
that kind of music and everything like that.
Cool.
Best, a whole lot
So
of best.
much Imagine Dragons. So much.
Imagine Dragons here. But yeah, so like to go from that for an hour from 9 to 10, we'd get calls and being like, "What the fuck are you guys playing right now?" And Firm's a big Humphreys fan too, obviously. And like during our regular slots, in between songs, like we'd have an opportunity to like mix in like a song that like wouldn't be played on the regular playlist. So like we'd put like a big one was 2012 we used for our dream
Dream
journal
Journal.
segment. Yeah, because it just sounded like a crazy, like we're explaining dreams about like floating over mountains, and it's just like in the background like meow, or we'd mix in like a triple wide by Humphreys, something like super instrumental, and people would call in and be like, "Were you guys just playing STS9? Were you just playing Humphreys?" So a lot of good times there. And then Firm, a little bit of a musician yourself. Talk about that.
Oh man, yeah. Formed a band in college called the Ars Nova, just
Mm-hmm.
good old fashioned rock and roll music. Pretty I'd say jam adjacent. We like to get some jams in there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean we had a pretty good run, mostly staying around Chicago, but the COVID killed my band is like the tagline for what we say. COVID hit, we all sort of moved. I went to Seattle, drummer went to Arizona, other guitarists went to Colorado. So, we're gonna do a reunion show here at some point in the next few years, but just got to figure that out. Yeah, just
Fuck yeah.
mostly played music with the boys from college and then just kind of noodle around here on my own.
Yeah, it's good shit. It's blues rock. It's jam. It's funky. It's good stuff. Was I at the last reunion performance at Tags' wedding? Was that the last time you guys played together?
That was the last time we played together, yeah.
Oh, good stuff. Well, Ryan, you are our boots on the ground for this weekend. So, Scotty, ask what we typically ask our people who are boots on the ground. Some of the questions you'd have.
Yeah, so I think the thing I'm most curious about, because like Nate said at the beginning, we're not here to talk about all 4 nights. We've got another potential guest on the docket for next week to talk about the first 2 nights. But tell me about the Crocodile. Is this a venue that you hit a lot, or was it your first time there?
It was actually my first time in Crocodile proper. So Crocodile has a few venues. They have
Okay.
like the main room, which is where Tribe played. Then they have like this tiny little theater where there is comedy. I've been there. And then I think there's a third room for just like smaller events.
Okay.
But honestly, big fan. It's like
Yeah.
nice and wide and not very deep, and so you always have a pretty good vantage point.
Okay.
And the sound was phenomenal. I think it
Yeah.
helps when you don't have a super deep room. So like the
Yeah.
sound was fantastic.
Cool. About how big is that room?
Oh God, I am
How
so
many people?
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so bad at guessing this, but I would venture probably like anywhere between 1,000, 1,500.
Okay.
I
Okay.
Okay.
actually don't know. I'm gonna look it
Someone
up
had,
and see how wrong I am.
yeah, someone had texted me saying that this was a
Oh,
300
750.
person 750. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, someone had texted,
750?
yeah, B Pro was texting me that it was a 300 cap room. Which I was like, I don't know about that.
That would be 150 smaller than belly up.
That's exactly what I said. So yeah, 750 people. And both nights were sold out, right?
Yeah. Speaking of
Yeah.
B Pearl, I got my crocodile. That's your
Oh,
free
hell
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
crocodile sticker.
That was our cover art for last week for the preview. But
Nice.
you shared a picture of the dude who just wouldn't leave and wouldn't go.
Yeah, dude.
Uh,
What? Wait, so where is that?
this
So
is
that's
it looks
at
like on
the
top of the bar.
at the very back of the room. Yeah, so it's like stage at the front, bar at the back, and then this crocodile. I'm like, this
Whoa.
motherfucker won't leave, dude. Show's over. Gotta go home.
You had a good spot though for both nights.
I wouldn't move, dude. If I had to pee, dude, I'm peeing my pants, dude. That's a hell of a vantage point.
Yeah, dude, it reminds me of like fuck, what's that restaurant? God damn it.
Oh,
Uh,
Rainforest Cafe.
yeah, Rainforest Cafe. Rainforest Cafe vibes going. Was it animatronic? It wasn't animatronic, was it?
Nah, dude, it was alive. Real life croc.
And then I saw some other pictures. They from kind of the back. It would have been just pretty much turning. And it looks like there's like dinosaur fucking shit hanging from the ceiling and shit. Did I see that right?
Massive crocodile skeleton. Like in the middle of the
Whoa.
room, hanging
Oh
over. Yeah.
wow.
It was pretty
Damn.
cool.
So yeah,
They
so
they
dinosaur, same fucking thing.
they go hard in the crocodile department. They're really doubling down.
Really on theme.
Um, so your first time in that room, good sound, 750 cap, sold out both nights. And we've been talking about it a little bit here. And I'm sure it's something we'll get into even more discussion as we'll break down the rest of the weekend. But you had discussed a little bit of concern just up based off what you'd seen off Reddit on the feedback of the light show, right? With stuff being in front of the band. And it looked like they put all that shit behind them, right?
Yeah,
So
that was gonna be my next question. As somebody who hasn't seen the band in I think we talked before this, you said 2017, 2018 was the last time you saw them.
Yeah, been a minute.
Initial impressions of the changes that had been made to the light show from your perspective.
I mean, it's just so different. I
Okay.
feel like I am not at all trying to throw shade at the current lights, but like the old lights that I was used to, like the
well, dude,
Saxton
I mean,
era, it was like
yeah,
there'd be
me and
people who I'm
you,
like, you should go just to see the fucking lights. Like even if you're not
Sure.
into this kind of music, like it's a spectacle to behold. And like it
Mhm.
was just like special in its own right there. Now it's just so different. Like I wouldn't say like mind-blowing light show, you got to go just experience the lights, but I think it was very tastefully done. I think it
yeah,
Okay.
it almost like adds to the music, less of a distraction. Like
yeah.
you kind of like zone in a little bit more on what's going on. And like they're still cool. Don't get me wrong. It's not like there's
Yeah.
nothing going on. I just think, yeah, it
Yeah,
almost adds more to the
I
music.
think yeah, I agree, and I don't. I think it's we don't know how good we had it. Where I think what we you could probably say we saw 20 to 25 shows together. Firm
Yeah.
where all but one of those, which is your last show, were Saxon, right? Where
Mhm.
like, dude, I mean like until we really get as deep in the jam scene as we do. You don't realize how good you have it with Saxon Waller as your LD.
Mhm.
Like he is
Yeah.
the top of the top. So I think it looked complimentary, for sure. So that's really good to hear. But before we get into any clips, just your thoughts on like the evolution of the music. A lot has happened since 2017.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
and you're a person that has a very musical ear that I'm really interested to hear on how you felt like the evolution of their sound.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I texted you during the middle of the first night of like, holy shit, Zach. Like the amount, like I was always super impressed with him. Human metronome, so much energy. I don't know how his arms don't fall off, but like the fills that he throws in now, like
Mhm.
again, not taking away from what was happening before, he was so impressive. He was just like holding it down, but now he's like a lead. It's almost
Yeah.
like he's like a lead, like front runner part of this as a rhythm section. And I was
Sure.
just so impressed with like the tom work that he was doing. Some of the time, like some of those like 32nd, I swear to God, sometimes even like 64th notes on the hi-hat in some of these sections. Like it was just mind blowing. I couldn't take my eyes off of Zach for so much of it.
I mean,
Um,
yeah,
I,
like I say sometimes I want to grow up to be Zach Velmer's hi hat, you know,
yeah,
because at least at one point he'll hit it, you know.
yeah.
So
But I mean, no surprise, the rhythm section, like Alana and Zach together, just holding it down so hard. Like I think I texted you about this too. I want to say it was like this again. I don't know if this is like a normal part of the song now, new to me at the end of ABCs, and there's just like this really tight hitting spot between Alana and Zach, and Alana's just
Mhm.
like laughing. Like every single time they're like makes eye contact with Zach, I see her just start to like smile and laugh, and like this is the most just like wholesome fun. I love
Yeah,
this.
Mhm.
right. Well, Scott, we played at ABCs last week.
Yeah.
Old ABCs that probably most of the ABCs me and you firm saw together. But your thoughts on that and of his impression of the new ABCs, or I guess the
Um,
OG version of ABCs.
Well, yeah, I mean, we talked about how I kind of prefer some of those older versions of the ABCs. That's no shade to the new versions of the ABCs. Those are just the songs the versions that I kind of grew up on cutting my
Mhm.
teeth with this band. Um, but spot on, man. And I really the thing you notice is the thing that I always get a kick out of when you see it is just that playful fun that they still are able to have with each other. Like I said, almost 30 years into this thing, and obviously Alana hasn't been there that whole time, but it's very clear that if nothing else, this is an era where they're having a lot of fun and they're still getting a kick out of each other,
Mhm.
and throwing stuff at each other in real time that, Alana as I would argue it, if not the most technically talented musician in the band, definitely the most classically trained musician in the band. And it's really fun to see, her who's played with everyone under the sun. Zach will throw things at her all the time where you can see in her face, she's like, "Oh fuck, let's go. What am I gonna do with
Yeah.
this?"
She perks up.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's perk world. It's just
Oh,
they
you
just
can apply that to anything. Yeah.
I know, dude. The playful fun that they're having right now and in this album rollout, it feels like a throwback to a younger era of
Yeah.
this band. And so I love how somebody that is hasn't seen the band in a good long time that's one of the first things that you caught.
Mhm. Well, boys, what do you say? Let's listen to
Listen to
some
some
fucking
music.
music. Yeah.
Yep.
And we're not gonna go far for our first clip into the set list from night one for our first clip. So we'll get it going. match made in heaven, I think we found here with an Arrowhead into Refraction opener. This brings me back when I think Arrowhead opener, I think Eastern
Yep.
ATL
Yep.
2022. Arrowhead
Yep.
crystal instrument that's new with the very old. This is new with the even newer.
Yeah.
Um, from giving it Arrowhead, I think was debuted right post COVID, Scotty, and then
Yeah.
Refraction
Was it Red Rocks?
might have been, yeah,
Yeah.
and then Refraction was a part of Chromolite,
Chromolite.
which is Red Rocks 22, which I think you've heard a little bit about Chromolite too, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I just looked it up. This is actually only the second time outside of a Chromolite set that refractions has been played. The other time was at the Eastern during the most recent New Year's run that was done there.
Yeah.
Um,
And
but
I wasn't even on board with Refraction yet, honestly, which I don't know what the fuck I've been thinking. I
Excuse
think
me?
we're both big fans of Haze. We're both big fans of
Yeah.
Fires, right? But like
Mhm.
Refraction has snuck its way into like maybe being like what I think is like the most dance friendly track off the Chromolite release.
Mm-hmm. I was laughing as I listened to this, imagining having not seen this band in 8 years and getting to the end of this and being like, "Whoo, I got some catching up to do."
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
That is
so
exactly how
for
I felt.
your thoughts 2 songs in here.
I mean, it's fucking sick.
Yeah.
Like it honestly was like it was like a strange feeling of like almost homecoming. Like even just when
Sure.
like the little noises started when the sets start and then it like goes into all of it, I was like, oh yeah, bringing me back. Right
Mm-hmm.
back.
Yeah.
Like it and it didn't
Even
feel
if you're
like it
not
had been
familiar.
it
Yeah.
didn't feel like it had been that many years since I'd shared an evening with FPS9.
Fuck. What do you always say, Scotty? You can always come home, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And fuck, that's the way to do it. I actually think Arrowhead. We're speaking of Sky songs and training songs. I think Arrowhead is a song about trains for sure. Like it sounds like a fucking locomotive.
Yeah, man. I mean, first of all, welcome back from summer camp, David Phipps. We missed
Yeah.
you.
Okay. So, Ferm, I don't know if you know this.
No, I don't, he certainly doesn't.
We're gonna just get into how fucking crazy of a weekend this was from David Phipps, and I'm sure you share some of the same feelings that even your first impressions were Zach, which that's obvious. Phipps has always been crushing it, right?
Yeah.
But between these Pacific Northwest shows and and DC, he was at I think a multi-week retreat. I think it was a part of the Tamado, or however you say that, Tamado Academy. Scotty, I saw something from Earl in a group that it was a part of that. Out in Sweden, he basically went to Synth Wizard camp. So yeah, these are some new tricks that we're already hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, dude, in that just David Phipps, like, but new and old back. You can tell like whatever new tricks he ends up getting, like he's still so like he's such a fucking like what do you he's such an identity, right? Like
Yeah.
you could fucking pick it out. Like he's a fucking demon, dude. And I mean this will be the tamest Phipps track that we feature, clip that we feature. But like still, I mean like the you think this comes from like I don't know whose brain of like, but like Arrowhead, Refraction, like back into kind of then by the end of Refraction, it's kind of both, right?
Yeah.
We're in no man's land, which, as we know, is one of the best places to be.
Yeah. I
At
think
an
it's I think
STS9
it's
show.
time to find I think it's time to find a more permanent spot for refraction because
Yep.
yeah, just so thoroughly impressed with this track outside of a chromolite setting and yeah, I think it's wonderful.
Yeah. So we'll move on in the set list. We'll actually move quite a bit here before our next clip. I think one thing to mention is Scotty. We have a shared note when we share these clips, and we kind of have a pre-production meeting to kind of let you behind the veil a little bit, where we kind of narrow clips down. Scotty, it was about every other song I had a clip for. I mean,
Yeah.
like,
This
like
is
so.
some of the more intense shaving we had to do.
Yes, absolutely. But Ferm, they continue to keep you on your toes to lift you up. right after that, where you're like, am I gonna hear anything that I'm fucking familiar with?
Yep.
So Lift You Up, part of the Rave Spell release, which again, who knows how much of that we see on this release. And then a really buttery segue into 118. Finally, something we've heard before, right? For
I know. I think about 118. I was like, I know this one.
There she is.
I know the words to this one. Yeah. Scotty, I know that a lot of these clips will be first listened for you, but I know you've heard this one. This 118 was very different structurally. I felt like
Yes.
not so much based on like a really heavy build up like we've seen a lot of the
Right.
recent ones, but like, ooh, just like really crunchy middle jam section here.
Yeah, absolutely. And it feels to pull back the veil a little bit more. We've chopping blocked a lot of 118s in the last few months. It's not personal. It's just for some reason they're just the ones that get cut, but that doesn't speak any less to how great these are. And just really great to see that becoming more of a mainstay in the in the set list. This one was a really special one that didn't make the list, but definitely go back and check that out.
Ferm, in your 30, 40 plus shows that you've seen, I would say, which I've been to most with you, I would say probably maybe you only caught 118 one or maybe two times, right? So like
not often.
Yeah.
Definitely not often.
So it's becoming more and more of a staple, which is it's a really cool fucking song. So it's cool to see that for sure. Next track we get into New Dawn, New Day, another one that Ferm knows. So that's good. That one actually does have words, so I'm sure you were singing along. This is the longest track of the night, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ferm, your thoughts on some nice D&B here?
New Dawn, New Day?
Yeah.
I mean, I swear to God, like, do they always play that song? Because like back when when it first came out, like when I was seeing it, like I went from like I've seen them play it at like the last 10 shows I've been at.
Yes.
So then they play this. I'm like, have they just not stopped ever? Like,
And
no, they did. They well, dude, they put it down. It's become more sparse for sure, Scotty. Wouldn't you say? Like maybe like
a lot more sparse. I thought I looked it up, but I can't remember what I found. But it's been a minute. You're right. It was one of the more frequent. You
every other show or
or at least
once a weekend.
At least every run exactly. But it's been down enough to where when I saw it on the set list, I went, oh, sick. And and honestly, I kind of slapped myself in the head for not calling it because me and Nate pick songs that we think are going to get played, and this one, in hindsight, felt like a no-brainer.
Yeah, this was the first one of the year, actually. First one in 2025, which they haven't played. Yeah, they haven't played many shows this year yet. They're really about to. This was kind of this really about to start hitting it hard. As of this past weekend, the last one was at the Moody in Austin on Friday, November 1st. So it had been. Let's see here. I don't know how many, like 8 months or whatever.
Since episode 2 of this podcast.
Yeah, 8 months in 17 days as of the release of this podcast.
Nice.
So yeah, that's a really good point, Ferm. It did seem like you were hearing it every time. And then we're gonna.
It was comforting, to be completely honest. It was like,
sure,
this is like, I'm home.
But you didn't hear it many times like that, right? A lot of them were 7, 8 minute, 9 minute New Dawn, New Days. Now when they're playing it, it's between 13 and 16 minutes typically. And I heard a lot of people, I saw a lot of people on the lounge saying this is the GOAT New Dawn, New Day, which I don't think so, bud. But it was a good one. It was. And it was very different. Some really cool interplay between Phipps and Hunter on that one, and just kind of those musical conversations. Alana coming in that strong with that first note. That was really cool to fucking hear when she lays into that fret tracks super hard to start off. And then we get Menacer, which that's a new one for you too, Ryan. This is one of those ones that are not a huge jam to talk about, Scotty, but like excellently executed here, right? Like just crisp. I mean, you could take this fucking soundboard audio and just fucking put it on the album
Yeah.
right away. But I'm sure Brad would have something to say about that. But uh, really crisp sounding Menacer. And then Ferm, one of your highlights of the night's next F word, right? What would you like about this
Oh,
one? Yeah.
buttery.
Fucking fuck, dude. Fuck.
Yes. Fuck. Just that lead guitar part, that
Hmm.
it just
Mhm.
gets me going, dude. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like I'm trying to think of if this when did Hunter start playing? Was it a Jazz Master, Jaguar?
2000.
Fourteen, I think.
Well, this
Okay.
current version, I'm really glad you brought this up, you being a gearhead. This current version he's playing is he started playing the Jazz Master. First show, Scotty was 1-1-15.
Yeah. Yep.
And then at some point, I think mid 2017, probably after you'd seen them the last time,
Hmm.
him and his dad built. So what he's playing now is a custom.
Okay.
The body is one of one. The body is modeled after the jazz master he was playing. But yeah, man, like songs like F Word sound super different on that kind of jazz master as opposed to the hollow body, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm a sucker for that like ES series, semi hollow body.
Hmm.
But there is something with this style of music where like you just have so much more control and influence over the tone that like Hunter is just he knows what the fuck he's doing with his knobs and his tone control.
His
And I
pedal
just
world down there, yeah.
well, I mean not even the pedals, like even just the way that he uses the dials on the
Oh,
guitar.
on the
Like
face, yeah, okay,
yeah,
yeah,
like I just love the tones he gets and really shows up in tunes like F Word.
yeah.
I'm sorry, Firm. I didn't ask this at the beginning, but is that your instrument of choice?
Guitar is, yeah. I mean, I like to
Okay.
fuck around with anything with strings, but guitar is the main squeeze.
Okay.
I liked when you fucked around with the mandolin. That was always fun. I was like, how many
Yeah.
fucking strings are on that thing? What the hell?
8 low
Um,
guys.
yeah, but this F word, um, just it's just like obviously any F word is like Hunter, just the wow, and
Hmm.
then the fucking lead guitar line that makes me think of like a lake, a still lake with the full moon, with you see all the reflection of the stars on it. That's like where I visually go on that.
Yeah.
But then like Phipps just like absolutely pounding you just with the like jazziest like fucking synth lines ever. And then fucking Zach came in super hard on this one. This is one probably too we would have clipped if we didn't play that F word from, was it Seattle? Well, last time they
Hmm.
had played, right? The F
Yep.
word one a day.
Yep.
This is probably one that we would have clipped, but a small but mighty F word at
Sure.
8:41. And
I
then
might I might be mistaken, but I think maybe it was the end of F Word where I swear he went into like 64th notes on the hi-hat. Just
yep.
like out of
Yeah.
nowhere, where I'm like,
With
what?
the
Wow. Yeah.
like where it would like it almost sounded like he was off rhythm, like with
But it was
how,
there.
yeah, like with every downbeat, you're like, oh no, he's right fucking there. He's
It's
just
still
like
there.
too fast for my mind to fucking compute what's happening.
Yeah.
I think Derek Lariviere got a really cool video of like the up slant of Zach during that fucking drum breakdown. It was really cool. And then honestly, there is, Scotty, you've heard me say this. There is not a better slot for this song that they played next than end of set one for a world go
Hmm.
round. That's where that belongs. I think they've had that figured out for a handful of years now. Where Ryan, again, that probably this was one of those where like, yeah, when you were seeing them, you were hearing a lot of this song, right?
Yep. A lot.
Yeah, but man, this was another clip that was on the chopping block,
Yep.
unfortunately. Again, I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but Phipps just with the just like the keyboard walks and everything, like, oh my God, it was fucking crazy.
Well, it makes sense that we're talking about Phipps so much, right? He's
Mhm.
fresh home from summer camp with a whole new bag of tricks. You'd expect him to be a little bit more eager to kind of share what he's learned, right?
Yeah, for sure. And Yeah, like again, like you said, you just expect him to be inspired and everything like that. But at the very least, I felt like it was good to share at least this Zach clip from what he had to say
Mhm.
to the first set.
Seattle, Washington, welcome. It's fucking packed to the brim out there. It's swampy. It's fun. Thank you guys so much. We're not done. Give us a second. We'll be right back. We're super stoked to be here. We love it up here. The Pacific Northwest, you guys have fucking brought it every night. Thank you guys beyond. We feel it. So thank you. Give us a second. We'll be right back.
So
Well-
good job for him.
Well, there's a living and dead crocodile in the room, so I would hope it's swampy.
It's swampy. It's fun. So yeah, I mean, Ferm, you haven't heard Zach speak in a while. I think one thing that you're used to hearing is, and he said it twice. Give us a second. We'll be right back. Like,
Yep.
but just get a little bit more free with how he's addressing the crowd too, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to the second set here, which is chock full of clips here. Man, phoneme. It had been a while, hadn't it, Scotty?
Do you have the last
I
time
think
played
it-
in front of you?
I think it was Austin as well.
That's
Um,
right.
Ferm, I know phoneme was a track. Yes, it was Austin, the same show that had been last played for New Dawn, New Day. I don't know if we ever caught a phoneme together, Ferm, but I know phoneme was a track that we listened to all the time because, like, randomly,
Yep.
remember Tags had like Peace Blaster and Ad Explorata on vinyl in his room, and we used to listen to Peace Blaster and Ad Explorata in his room, and phoneme was one of those tracks where we were like, what the fuck is this shit, right? So was this your first phoneme?
I honestly think it is.
Yeah.
I think it had to have been because like it's one of those tunes I've heard so many times,
Yeah.
but I really can't think back to a time when I had gotten one live.
They really open it up in that second half, right? I mean, like it's where David Phipps sounds like he's again teaching how to ride a bike, or Hunter Brown's showing you how to bird watch or anything like that. It's just like, ooh, okay, it's a good reset, right? Like that there is a yellow-breasted swaller. But man, that brings us into our next clip, and one that Ferm, I don't know if you remember saying this ever, but I will never forget is you had a random text from you at some point where you're like, this song really gets my nards going. So let's get our nards going.
Thought you'd never ask.
thickness.
Man, dude.
Godless behavior. Like,
Man, dude.
man, dude.
Man, dude.
So I do have a question for you, Ferm, specifically about this jam and your impressions. Before we get any further, I do want to divulge a little bit because I've got some of my favorite little gremlins outside that wanted to stick their head in real quick and say hey. So I'm gonna let them come in,
bring in the
face on the
gremlins.
podcast, and then we.
Hell yeah, we got some guests. Ferm, is it the fucking that like digga 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 digga, that sounds different, right?
It
It's like
does.
more textures, like the digga
Yes.
digga digga digga, and like there's an extra layer of like behind it.
There
All right,
is.
see the gremlins. All right, we got some Commanders fans in the house.
So this is Fisher, this is Michaela, and this is Miles. My nieces and nephews, some of my favorite people in the world. They want
Is that a Bulls shirt?
No, it's a Knicks shirt. It's a Knicks
Oh,
shirt.
okay. Oh, okay. Dang.
You could probably rock a Bulls shirt if you got it for him, but
I should give him. I gave Zach a Bulls shirt and he won't fucking wear it. So
What gives?
yeah, these are some of my favorite people in the world, and they just want to stick their head in and get on the podcast. So
Right on.
thank you guys for indulging me for a little bit and letting them get a little 15 minutes of fame. So
yeah,
guys,
welcome to the podcast. Thousands of viewers. So
thousands of views. They can't. It just occurred to me they can't hear what you're saying, so they're gonna
They
run this
can't.
back later. And
I was using some unsavory language, so it's better that they didn't probably.
Yeah. Unsavory language going on here. Would be you guys. Yeah, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. I love y'all.
Hey,
Ferm.
but
Go
wait,
ahead.
before that,
Yeah.
we missed the Never Never.
Okay.
The Never Never came after Phoneme, before Evasive, and they segged it into that Evasive, and that Never Never, we'd heard some Never Nevers without kind of like the modular jam, and like that one got like into it real quick, and then just went right into that Evasive. So that's all I gotta say.
No. I'm glad you brought that up, because that my question had to do with modular jams. You. Since your last show, it's not like modular jams never happened. When you were seeing the band a little bit more frequently, but they are a staple and a mainstay of every single show that happens now. And
it's a sixth member of the band. Yeah.
Yeah, it is, it's kind of their spin on the, kind of the open jam that you see in, all the bands that we've mentioned on this podcast so far. Seeing 2 nights of these modular jams in and out of different songs, what are your impressions on kind of what they've built with this?
Great question.
It's a great question. I don't know if I have a great answer, because they used to do modular all the time back in my heyday, and I don't. It just seems
not as frequently though. Like
not as frequently, but
every show they'd get into a modular section.
But I think that there's a reason they do it so frequently. Like after seeing these 2 shows in Seattle this past weekend, like they're just so much more buttoned up, and like it just goes so well together, to the point where you're like, wait, are they in the middle of a new, like a segue? Is this a new song, or are they just fucking freestyling right now? And like that, it's so impressive.
I liken it to when you go, if you've been to the dog track where they have the bunny on the fucking rail that the dogs chase, it's their bunny to chase. It like keeps them fucking going, like, wow, and they're off.
What a great comparison. It's their bunny to chase.
Yeah. Like they're just fucking greyhounds galloping at you, dude. Like and I've got fucking $50 on the goddamn trifecta. like come on, Hunter.
No, that's amazing.
But I mean, like, this is like, Scott, I think this is different than the last Evasive that we heard, right? Like, just like more texture. I was just talking about it with Ferm when you're getting the gremlins. Like that, just like the part that's always been there, that like it's there's more like bass behind it. There's like there's a weight to it, right?
Sure.
And then you get into that fucking modular madness, which reminded me of the jam out of Evasive and the New Year's run from New Orleans. But this one, like Ferm said, maybe even a little bit more buttoned up, which is like the stronger. I love that too, but it does tighten them up a little bit for sure.
And I know that like this is just a side tangent, but like I know there's some quite literal song names like New Dawn, New Day, very intuitive. Outside of that, I feel like this tune is the most appropriately named song. Like I don't know why. I just feel like I'm in a high-speed interstellar chase.
Sure.
Like,
or I feel like Barry Sanders switching fields on a 28 sweep. Like breaking 13 tackles on a 40-yard touchdown run. Like just Very,
Right.
very aptly named for sure. And then, okay, so one thing I noticed too is like we cut it short because like if we kept going, we'd have to just go into Peachtree. But I noticed that like these songs that weren't segged, there weren't there's commas on the set list, right? But they don't go to full stop. Like Phipps was like hit like keeping a fucking hand on the keyboard and then like switching key between songs by like playing a little like triplet like piano note like the clang, 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 clang,
Mm-hmm.
clang. And then they just go into Peachtree, which Ferm Peachtree, which is a new one for you, but I think amongst the fan community is like the most excited people have been about a new song that I can remember in my entire fandom about us.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Without
cool.
a doubt.
Yeah. It's got a really cool groove to it. I think we're all waiting for it to be cracked open, right? Certainly I am. But what they've done with it, to give you an idea, the first time they debuted it live, Peachtree into Ramon, right? And then we get it sandwiched in between Evasive and then Los Swaga after, right? Which like you see what they're doing there, right?
Mhm.
Old with the new. And when I saw this on paper, I saw Evasive Peachtree Los Swaga. I was like, good God, that is
Yeah, we're gonna talk about this one again at the end of the year, I think.
So yeah, Los Swaga, that's one that's been stretched out a little bit since you'd seen them last too, Ryan, with a nice drum and bass section too. So that must have been a nice little zesty thing for you. And then more stuff that's recognizable for you, Vapors, right? I don't know. Ferm, what are your thoughts on Vapors? I feel like we've always liked Vapors, right? It's yeah.
It's Vapors.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it served a good purpose here though, right?
It's better now than it was back in my like heyday. I will say that. I definitely enjoyed it more. I mean, what I've always loved about it, again, going back to Hunter and his milky tones, like that guitar, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's just
iconic
like
main riff.
yeah, like
Yeah.
it's so good.
Yep. And then we get into some more of the newest of the new for you. We're gonna play a really short clip for this one because this wasn't the only time this song was played on the weekend, and I think that the other one that was played was a little bit better. So we're gonna dive deeper into that one next week. But there was a section here that just could not be overlooked for this episode. So we're gonna play a short little clip for this next one for you.
I mean, no, hold on. I want to do something with Ferm real quick. Do you know how old this song is?
How old?
Yeah.
No.
How do you think it is? Based on what you on the level that they're playing it at right now.
Oh, I
Good
mean,
question. Yeah.
because I know it's new, but like they're playing it like it's from the original catalog. Like
This shit is like 12 weeks old.
that's wild. Like this is what I'm talking about with the drum fills and the tom work that I'm just not used to Zach doing.
Yeah.
Like that shit was off the fucking chain. And then somehow those fills paired with Jeffrey, like they're
Yeah.
joined together to this like rhythmic beauty that is just like greater than the sum of its two parts. Like it's just unreal.
You forget, you can't pinpoint who's doing what. Like it's this cornucopia and it fills in all the cracks, right? Where like that's the biggest thing that they've done since you've been seeing them is like they've filled in the cracks, man. And like you said, like it becomes this thing where it's like I don't know who the fuck's doing what. We're like, dude, did fucking JoJo Herman from Panic join the band with that? Like the like,
dude, it made me think of the band. Like the band, like real old school, that organ from the band, like Cripple type stuff, where just like
where did Levon Helms band?
Yeah.
But like was that a modular? And then I got to thinking like, dude, could they put that like organ tone on the modular shit, like the like the gob nugget tone almost, you know, like super guttural organ tone, where it's like percussive almost, where like there is more percussion there. Like I don't know, like how many fucking hands and arms does David Phipps have? Because then you just hear him laying down like it's like what the fuck is happening right now?
Maybe that's what the camp was. Maybe he just had another hand surgically added to his wrist.
It's way cheaper in Scandinavia to do that. Yeah. Jesus. So we'll move on from that. We'll talk more about that song next week.
Yeah.
So that ends set 2. And then the encore, you get a 2-song encore here. The Walk the Sky, which we played a little bit of to open the show. Just fucking unbelievable drum and bass, man. I texted Zach while I was putting these clips together. I was like, so did you spontaneously combust during this Walk the Sky from Seattle? And he just goes, yeah, boy. Yeah, muffins. Fucking really awesome. And then like again, one of those kind of like endings where it's like it's not a full segue, but it's a full band cutout where like Phipps is hammering some chords and then like playing a little bit of like piano notes and then just right into so Ferm, this
brings us to our next clip.
Ferm, this is the one thing you texted me that we had to feature as one of your highlights from night 1, and I listened to it and I was like, whether you texted me that or not, we're gonna fucking play it. So
yep.
Oh yeah. Little call jam kid. Till. Oh. So, Ferm, we like to say on this podcast, when you get an ending like that, till the last fucking drop. And you're another person that taught me the term trash can ending. You said that. I don't know if what band we were seeing, but you're like, yeah, dude, those trash can endings. Does this win the award for like longest trash can ending you've ever fucking heard?
It must. Like they just it's
Yeah,
almost
this
like
was-
a cruel trick because you're like, oh, are they gonna do another? They got one more? Is it actually over?
Yeah, you're waiting on them to set something else
Yeah.
up. That's
Like
that's
three
a
going on, Claire?
great observation.
And they're like, no, go home. You too, crocodile. What the fuck?
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. I'll see you tomorrow, idiots.
You fucking idiots, so dumb. Um, so and he was on this shit all weekend. Can I liken something to what I hear from Phipps when he does this real quick? I think you guys will enjoy this. They must have been watching Star Wars at Synth Camp. I don't know.
That was the movie for movie night.
All three of them, the originals. But
with no screen, just the sound.
Just the sound.
Whatever,
Audio
on a
only.
bitchin' sound system. That's all I hear when I hear Phipps do those, like, or whether it's Phipps or I know like Jeffrey does like the fucking plane takeoff sometimes, just the but that is what I'm reminded of when I hear that kind of shit. But yeah, for this one, Ferm, what made this stand out to you for the night?
I mean, dude, this has always been one of my favorite tunes. Like, I've just always loved Wicked, and being able to like close out the first night with it was just like really special. I mean, just like you just listen to it. How can you not? Like the way that it culminates at the end with just like so much perfect noise. And
Look at Hunter
again,
go there. Yeah.
going back to what I said at the last clip, like the partnership in the percussion between Zach and Jeffrey is just like next fucking level.
Yeah.
Like that's what really stood out to me is that rhythm section.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, fuck, Scotty, you were saying it while we were listening to that clip. The fucking Jeffrey, god damn. And then like on the fucking like cowbells or whatever wood blocks at the end, like how it's just perfectly matching up with like Phipps's like higher twinkly sounds. Like again, it just like creates this like cornucopia or like swirl of fucking sounds where it's like, no, that's why they're named Sound Tribe Sector 9.
Right.
They're just making fucking sounds that happens to culminate into music. So
you before we get into night two, you talked about World Go Round being kind of the perfect set one ender. There is a short list of songs that are more perfect show closers than Wicked Chicana.
Yeah. Paired with a new song too.
Yeah, man. That is where this song belongs, is the thing to send you packing on. And just an excellent night one ender. And I mean to you know, if night two didn't happen, you'd say this is the show of the weekend. But night two did happen.
What did we fucking say, Scotty, about
the Sunday
circling
show?
your we said this fucking more than 6
announced.
months ago. Yeah, we're like, circle your calendar for Seattle on a Sunday to end 4 nights. And yeah, I mean, you open up and we hear more. I thought this was very reminiscent of Peachtree and Ramon to open the second set or open the second night. Portal to the Starry Path into Tap In, right? We're Ferm. Yeah, again, I know you're a Tap In lover, and I know you're unfamiliar with Portal to the Starry Path, where it's like, do you see what they're doing at this point? Like, yeah.
It's like the buddy system. It's like the new young kid on the block holding hands with the old stalwart.
Yeah, but then you realize like the new kid's got some fresh fucking kicks on, dude. He's pretty fresh.
And he can fight.
He can. He beat up a 6th grader fucking last week or something. That's Portal to the Starry Path here. Which we'll get into it, I'm sure, more next week with the debut of it.
Yeah.
But sounds great live, and this was a bitchin' tap-in, dude. This was an above average tap-in, which I mean the the average for tapping is really fucking good. So anything above average is really saucy, and Phip's gotten his bag again on this one. But yeah, we'll get into our first clip with the third song of the night from night 2. I mean, Ferm, does the crowd at this point, are they eating out of their hands as much as it seems like they are? Like, bring us there.
I mean, first off, I gotta drop a hot take.
Please.
Alana's good at,
We call them giving hot takes here.
Alana's good at bass. That's
Hot
that's the
take.
takeaway.
Yeah, jeez. Ooh, that is scorching. Jeez.
No, but
Yeah.
that jam, are you kidding me? The way, like, her noodling just in and out, throwing in the like disco stuff, like it's just
Then those just the womb.
yeah, absolute perfection. But yeah, dude, this
Another
the crowd was.
another first for you.
Yeah, it was, and it's fucking incredible. I'm trying to think. We switched sides on the floor at one point during the first set, so I think I was Zach's side for that one. And it was just like a full different vantage point. That's when I like really got that good view of the interplay between Alana and Zach, and it's just so much fun to see.
Yeah.
So much fun to see.
But Scotty, who do you pick out of the three-headed monster, like, to talk about? Like, fucking Phipps, Hunter, Alana there? Like, man, like, what are your thoughts? This is your first time hearing this too. You're on mute.
Oh, that's why you couldn't hear any of the questions I was fucking asking. So okay,
We're keeping that in, by the way. We're not cutting that.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Phipps. Phipps is who you talk about. Phipps is the answer to if there's a question about this run, the answer is David Phipps.
Yeah. Those notes he was hitting, I think I know you're going to talk about, where like he'd hit it and then it'd go whoop, whoop, whoop,
yeah,
like
yeah,
like what? Well, like it was like a modular sequence being triggered by every note he was hitting. Like,
yeah, maybe this summer camp was somewhere where he took his modulars to be possessed by demons.
there were definitely sacrifices or some kind of goat's blood going on.
There's lots of speculations about this camp today. I am curious, Ryan. Do you know the history of this song of Real and Imagined?
No,
It's actually an artifact a cut. It was one of the first first cuts for Artifact that didn't make it. And I think you hear it and you understand why it doesn't really fit with the kind of overall theme of the of that album. That being said, when they played the album at Red Rocks in 2017, they released it as a studio song. And
just a mere 5 days after your last show. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to say that it has kind of grown an identity of its own would be a disgusting understatement.
Yeah.
I would stand 10 toes down and argue it until I was red in the face that this is a top 10 STS9 song. It fits everything that you want to hear from this band. Every member has their own opportunity to really shine. And Phipps is the lead singer here, but just a fantastic offering, and absolutely dumbfounded by what Phipps did on this one in particular.
It's fucking crazy.
It's nuts, dude.
That was Ferm. That was not regular. That was not normal. What just happened? Let's talk more about top 10 STS9 songs with this first set, because we got one with. I think we got one with Tap In. Scotty says one with Real and Imagine. So last week we featured an STS9 and Equinox from the Cascade Equinox Festival.
By the way, point.
Point?
Yeah, I called the Equinox.
You did. Fuck, you did. Yeah, point for F word for me too. But it's serendipitous that we get more Equinox fuckery here. Where Ferm, you've never really seen Equinox like segued or any. That's a standalone, right?
Yeah. Right.
Like in the last 8 months or so, they did a Be Nice into Equinox in the New Year's run in New Orleans. So we're seeing a little bit of a pattern here, then a Feel It into Equinox. We got a Call Jam tease during Wicca. we get another call jam tease during this Feel It. Ferm, Feel It's new for you, but it's not, right? What it's like globally reprise, right? So it's got to kind of throw you for a little bit of a loop, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Feel it,
Yep.
feeling adapt. And then this buttery segue into Equinox. I mean, this was another clip on the chopping block, unfortunately, but we only have so much time as we're probably in the middle of a 2+ hour episode here, but who gives a fuck? Man, this hurts my heart not to listen to it with you guys because I mean, just the two songs happening at once when they get into Equinox is a lot different where Alana's bringing in the Equinox with the dun, 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 dun. Hunter brought it in with like the kind of like Spanish guitar like the and just a dumbfounding Equinox. Unbelievable Alana Rockland solo in the middle of that one. And then we get into ABCs, which Ferm talked about the very wholesome moment he witnessed between Alana and Zach. Yeah, this ABC's 13+ minutes. It's the business. It's another one we could have featured, but really good shit there. And then Ferm's other clip of choice brings us to our next music offering here.
I'm excited because I don't even remember why. You just asked me, you're like, what are songs from each night or something, and I was like, I just remember really what was like fucking prolific.
You'll know why for sure after we listen here.
I'm
Glad to
excited to
remind
relive
you.
it.
Yep.
trees.
You got to go to your Ferm.
God damn.
So going back and reliving it, what stands out to you on that?
Ah, Jesus. What I find really interesting is I think they do a really good job of showcasing all of them at different points in the track. Like during that build up, like I know we've been talking about it a lot tonight, but just those different effects and layers and textures that Phipps is throwing on. And he's like the absolute star of that build up until you get to that culmination at the end where Hunter fucking Brown, like
Yeah.
with Jeffrey as the backbone of that like ending section.
Yeah.
Absurd.
Yeah, it blindly, it's a Hunter Brown song when you think of it, right? When you think really what? You think do 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 do.
Yeah.
And then you almost forget about the gong 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 gong
Mhm.
gong. And Phipps just clowning on that, dude. Like again, like is he mad at us? Like what did we do to offend him, dude? Like God, but a whole lot of THX intro shit going on here.
Yeah. He sounds like
yeah.
he's climbing trees.
Yeah, at the rate of a marsupial, honestly. Like, he's just like fucking around with like with scales. Like it's
Yeah.
almost proggy, right, Ferm? Like
Yeah.
where it's like he's playing the wrong notes, but they fit. You know, it's like off key. Scotty, did you hear some like Enceladus?
I didn't, but
there?
I'll go back and listen. That's my first
Yeah.
listen to that one. So, I usually come in way more prepared for these episodes. But as I said at the
You're on
beginning,
vacation.
I've been on the beach, man. I listen to what I can, but one of the cool parts about this format that we do is it doesn't always matter if we come in fully listened, and sometimes it makes it better when we don't.
Yeah.
And
I love
I'm
this first listen shit. Yeah, it's
yeah,
good.
I am having a lot of fun hearing a lot of these for the first time. Outside of the first two clips we played, this has all been fresh ears for me.
Yeah.
And
It's almost like a
it-
wave swap episode.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And Ferm said it. I feel like we're kind of beating our head against the wall saying the same thing, but when we are here to break these clips down, and the constant theme of a lot of these clips is David Phipps, man.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
I can't believe it. And
yeah, it's mind blowing just the hunger that he is playing with this,
Yeah.
throughout this entire run. I mean, this is chip on your shoulder STS9.
Yep. It's almost like they had a technical difficulty night, but they
Yeah,
didn't.
Did they melt a soundboard that we weren't aware of before
Yeah.
this?
Did sound check go really poorly? Um, did like he forget to tie his shoes this morning or something? He tripped on them going on his way to coffee. I don't know, but first set it rounds out with Like I Do. This one is becoming more and more rare. I know it's one of mine and your favorite, Scotty. A new one for you too, Ferm. This is a rave spell track. The execution on this one, when you listen to it, Scotty, you'll hear it. But yeah, Ferm, I don't know if you remember because I mean that really what stuck out. But like again, is that the end of the first set? Does this sound like the song they've only been playing for a few years, right? Like, no, it is
No.
sections after sections being executed and executed, and I would bet a lot of money that night one or night two, set one of Seattle will be the best set that STS9 plays in a very long time. Again, just reading it back: Portal into Tap In, Real and Imagined, Feel It into Equinox, ABCs, Really What, Like I Do. That's how it's fucking done. Man, I mean, like writing the set list is dirty work. Like, was Mike Rowe there? Because that's a dirty job. Like, but getting into set two, this Sky High. It's a new one for you too, Ferm. With the Goody Mob sample, very hip hop influence and everything like that. And that's one of mine and Scotty's favorite modes. And I think this is a track that we have both grown to really love. But like, this was another one of the clip that was on the chopping block because just another added layer and spice that Phipps brought to it. Like, did he rewrite the whole fucking playbook at camp? I don't know. Like, but really awesome start to the second set. Good tone setter. Then you get the longest track of the night at Oil and Water. One I know you're familiar with here, Ferm, where like where you had left off, they had just started playing that water section, right? Like the and it was really a funk bomb for most of the shows that we saw them play it. I think specifically about Nashville 2014 Halloween, which you were with me at, where we were the dude and Walter Sobjack. That picture
The dude abides.
Yeah, that dude has been shared, or that picture has been shared on the podcast before, so I'll spare people of it now. But Ferm used to have just as long as hair as me, guys, if not longer. So he made a great dude. But this Oil and Water, a note I had about it was they went into the oil section without the funk breakdown, into the water section, back into the oil funk section. Scotty, I don't remember that being the structural makeup of it, of another version. So really cool stuff they did there.
Yeah, having not listened to it, I don't have too much to say on it right now. That's definitely an inversion of the way that it's normally played. But it kind of feels like the way it almost should be played, right?
Yeah.
And I guess the way that that a lot of STS9 songs are kind of constructed with
reaching their final form. Like
kind of a little lull, not a lull, but a little more vibey section in the middle, and then you kind of bring it home with what got you to the dance in the first place.
And huge on big guitar for sure.
Very excited to hear that.
Yeah. And then some really cool playing around the set list here with old and new Mischief. Ferm, I'm sure you were delighted to hear. Not in full, but you get the glitch breakdown, and then you think they're gonna go back into Mischief and then they hit you with Your Infinity, which is on paper I was really excited about it. The execution, I think it's one we got to go back to the drawing board a little bit. But in theory, a really cool idea. I think, Scotty, when you hear it, you'll be on board with me. But when you see it on a set list, it's super exciting. And then that leads us into our final full clip before we get into a shorter clip to finish out the music listening portion.
I mean, okay, finally something that we can talk about other than Phipps, man. Alana Rockland, let's fucking go, dude.
Yeah.
Did she go to base camp?
She's always at base camp, dude. She's the
Yeah.
fucking counselor, baby. Oh my god.
I mean, she actually does go to base camp. She's a popular
graduate.
participant in Victor Wooten's deal. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, come on, dude. This Ramon is fucking ridiculous.
You can hear it in the crowd. People are hooting and hollering.
Yeah. No, dude, the crowd noise on the soundboard is phenomenal. I know a lot of people. I don't know. Actually, I don't know people's opinion on this. I'm sure some people aren't a big fan of hearing the crowd so prominently throughout the soundboard. I think it's great. And
but especially when
with this song.
if you weren't there, you know, it brings you there, right, Scotty?
Yeah, you're kind of living vicariously through whoever is making those noises. Because me too, bro. Me too.
Oh, Ferm, I feel like it's just a cherry on top for your first run back in a long time to get a Ramon.
No, it was very, very exciting to hear those first couple notes. Like that, I don't know, man. Like that, I haven't seen it live in years, obviously, and like I think it's like so masterfully balanced. Like you guys would know better than me if like this is purposeful by design or like if they're just going off vibes and are vibing that hard. But like that first section before the fun section, I didn't notice it when I was there, but listening back to it right now, like the interplay between Phipps, Alana, and Hunter, there was like
where Phipps' tones are super strong, and then he brings it down, and like then you hear like Hunter and Alana come up a little bit. Is that what you're talking about?
But going even farther than that, there's like a time where the synth was like super busy. And then Hunter was also on probably like some 8th, 16th notes or something, busy guitar. And then Alana was holding those like half notes, whole notes down. And then it almost seemed like seamlessly Alana and Hunter switched.
Yes.
And then
they do that.
Alana
they do that on Ramon.
This, like really quick bass parts. And that's when Hunter started to hit those more like long sustaining notes. And then like without skipping a beat. And then I just thought it was very balanced, like very well done.
It took me a long time to catch that they switch parts like halfway through, for sure. Where Alana almost takes like the where like Hunter is more on the like the open strums and notes and everything like that. Scotty, I feel like Ramon has to have the highest batting average in terms of when it's played, we clip it. You know, like there's very seldom going to be a Ramon that's played that we don't clip. And it's just, and it point for me, 2 points for both of us. I got a point for F Word, and Ramon, you got a point for
Equinox and
Poseidon, Equinox for the weekend. So the Pop Podular title belt points are at 13-9 now. We still haven't voted on that last Wave Swap episode. We'll do that before the next Wave Swap episode. Who knows who won that one, but I chose Ramon because I thought Caesar was going to be there. I was under the impression that he was, but he wasn't.
And then he wasn't.
The first thing he texted me is like, as soon as the soundboard dropped, he's like, "Holy shit, this fucking Ramon!" And I'm like, "Oh, well, you skipped to the Ramon, didn't you?" Where like people like me, we you know, like people of taste and class and honor, we start a run from night one. Yeah, we don't skip ahead to the Ramon, but that's how crazy it is about this track. So, but we've got one last short clip where just something went on in this song, which again I feel like we're beating a dead horse here with David Phipps, but it's a short clip, and that'll be the final clip before we wrap things up. Unplug them. Unplug them. That's enough.
I mean, so is this camp like an annual thing that we can expect more of this kind of behavior from immediately afterwards?
Dude, what is that blender we got put in there? Like, dude, dubstep is so back. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, dude.
So, Ferm, here's another just like, bro, these two songs back to back, you gotta just
Instantly is a party, like always, every time, instantly party.
yeah.
Not just some of the time.
Yeah, not half the time. Dude, oh my god, like there is so much more to talk about in that instantly. There was a When the Dust Settles tease early on from Phipps too. Tease was littering Phipps was littering teases all over the place. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it at the end of the show, and I think we know who the fucking MVP was. Well, we'll see what Ferm has to say. Ferm's been talking a lot. It's been me and Scotty talking a lot about Phipps. Ferm's been talking. He's been providing some balance with the other band members here.
Sure.
So instantly, obviously, it should be called.
Obviously.
And the second set was Shaky Ground. Ferm, this is one I'm really interested to hear your take on.
Like, I wasn't familiar with it.
Mhm.
If my memory serves me, it was relatively short.
Mm-mm.
So, I mean, 7.5. Oh wait,
10
Shaky
plus
Ground. No,
minutes.
sorry, I was thinking final song, Shaky Ground.
Mhm.
Honestly, I don't remember. Like
Yeah.
after Instantly, I was kind of just like, fucking A. Like with that, like
Sure.
Ramon and Miglio in Instantly, and then ending with two tunes I'm not familiar with. It was just sort of like a come down for me, to be honest. Like not in a bad way. It was just like my head was fucking spinning from what I had just
Yeah.
seen.
Well,
It was
I'm
like
not mad.
finish him.
Yeah, I'm not mad at this. I'm not mad at that, man. Honestly, they don't do it often, but there are definitely moments that I think, and fuck me, right? I don't know what I'm talking
You
about.
haven't
I'm not
heard
new to
it.
this
Yeah,
band.
but no, I want you to keep going.
but-
You haven't even heard this Shaky
Yeah,
Ground song.
well, just based on what I've heard and what it looks like on paper, and the fact that I know that From Now On is the encore, kind of an unnecessary Shaky Ground.
Okay.
You know, I that song is such a sensory overload in a good way. When it's well placed, but I mean, I don't need to hear the rest of the Instantly to know that they could have walked off stage after this Instantly, and nobody would have been fine. And then they come down and they tuck you in nice and tight with that From Now On, and then
Mhm.
we're off to the afters. And
Yeah.
you know, I'm sure it was fun. They always are fun. Those Shaky Grounds are 4 on the floor, put your feet on the wall and start twerking type songs.
Yeah, it's
But
drill rap. It's us just
yeah.
drill rap.
yeah, but as it doesn't surprise me that as somebody that hadn't seen this band in a while, the Shaky Ground kind of got lost on you. Um, I don't know if it was needed right there. I love the song, and I think when you go back and you listen to the soundboard, you'll go, yeah, this has a place in the catalog. This is a really, really cool thing. But with the Instantly, I think that you know, that this was kind of the showstopper, set to closer. And then, you know, what bad can you say about it From Now On? I mean, that's just to end the
Yeah.
set.
Well, I'll go. We'll talk about the Shaky Ground next week, Scotty, because I think you'll hear it. I think it's the best one. I think it's better than the
Okay.
Chicago one.
Okay.
When they start it, I thought the same thing. It's like, man, like that instantly was so much sensory overload where it's like, whoo. We're like, I probably would have like tried to find a seat during the beginning of Shaky Ground, but by the end of it, I would have been twerking on the wall for sure.
Yeah.
There's a huge fret tracks moment. Hunter gets super involved. It's a lot more of a melodic one. One of them without the brace yourself, Jason, that kind of gets into like an actual groove and like a little bit of a type 2 melody. So let's put a pin in that one, Scotty. Come back to me next week after you take a listen to it, because that was a clip that was on the chopping block from me. But yeah, I mean, you talk about perfect encores. You talked about a night one perfect encore is a Wicca Chicana, right?
Right.
Night 4 of a 4-night Pacific Northwest run, after they've fucking beat you over the head endlessly with
Put me to
just
sleep. Yeah.
dance floor
Mhm.
bomb after dance floor bomb. from now on is a great way to fucking tuck you in. And
Yeah.
Ferm, I'm surprised you're not familiar with that one. That one's a little bit of an older one, but not one that they play very often at all. It's a rarity.
And not one that has a studio treatment either.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of one of those hidden lost tracks, if you will. But yeah, I mean, that wraps us up. Ferm, I can't tell you how special it felt to get both my co-hosts in the same room.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
Amen. You are welcome back whenever you want.
Hell yeah.
I had a blast with you. Thank you for coming, and this is special for all of us, I'm sure.
Dude, thanks for having me. Like, it's just so fun to shoot the shit about music.
Yeah.
Like I said in the beginning, like that's how it's like Chicago sports and music is how Nate and I were just like friends. And it's just like what we spend hours and hours.
And that's how Scotty and I became friends over at STS9. It was like, hey, you need a place to stay in fucking Aspen? It's like, yeah. And then 1.5 days later, it's like the scene in Step Brothers where it's like, did we just become best friends?
Yep.
I love that.
But yeah, getting the band back together, getting to relive these shows with you, Ferm, where I wasn't there and I felt bad about it. And I promise the next Seattle shows I will be there. But just your final thoughts on your homecoming to STS9 and the state of the band right now. I guess the State of the Union address from you.
Yeah, man, they're fucking ripping. Like, it's like they always have, but like this is next level shit. And like I know not to belabor it, but like, yeah, all the new little tricks that Phipps pulled out, like I wouldn't have known it was from his fun little summer camp. Like I'm coming from 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
And I saw that and I was like, oh my God, he's put in some work.
Yeah.
But like, I gotta say, I started it with this. I'm gonna end it with this. I know Phipps is your guys' MVP. Zach is mine. Like,
fuck yeah.
The difference in his style of play. Like he was always the backbone and he's a lead now. Like he's controlling everything from a lead position. And I'm just like so impressed with the new tricks that he has up his sleeve.
Yep.
Not mad at that at all.
And something happened with him shortly after your last show. That's what I'll say. Where like something is flipped the switch. Where like me and Scotty are almost used to it at this point. Where like you should never grow used to David Phipps, but like this is just a thing where it's like from what we heard from him in DC to now is just incredible, and that's why he's got my MVP vote. I guess Scotty's yours would be the same. Yeah. But to hear that the first thing I texted you going into the show is like, hey, spend some time, lock into Zach. And like,
I mean, that was like 90% of my time.
Yeah.
Not even kidding. Like I know you said that and I was like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But like I couldn't help it. I think it's just so different. Like again, not throwing any shade to how he was playing before, but he was just very hi-hat, snare, kick heavy. Like his fills were usually just like snare, and like not all of a sudden he's like fucking ripping down all the toms and just like the transitions and the syncopation between all of the transitions that he was doing. It was fucking awesome to see.
Yeah. And if you lock in hard enough, he'll lock back in with you as well. So you'll notice that if you get some more shows. But that's it, guys. Thank you, Ryan, so much for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on Apple Music or Spotify. Throw us a like, throw us a review, throw us a comment, throw us a subscribe, whatever you're feeling nice about. Just be nice to us. But we will be back next week with a breakdown of the first two shows from the Pacific Northwest run, being in Portland and at the Northwest Tune-Up Festival, hopefully with some boots on the ground and another guest. But until then, guys, much love.
Love.
Love.